Hello, welcome. So today we're gonna be playing Fortnite, you know, wearing my Spider-Man skin. We're also going to be talking about my thriller horror movie titled Obsessed. Basically, it's a mystery and it ends off with a cliffhanger, and it follows through a teenage boy coming from work who is being stalked by his female coworker, which leads to a kidnapping. It obviously ends on a cliffhanger with his mom calling him, setting up the rest of the movie as the mom being the protagonist. In terms of conventions, my product uses a horror movie's thriller conventions. The first convention is the use of like a suspense and restricted narrative information, meaning how I only gave the audience certain information and then gave them a plot twist during the movie. As well, you can see this beautiful landing where I'm landing. I gotta get those kills. But the audience sees some clues during the movie, such as watching the main character, me, enter my house, but the full identity of the stalker is not revealed. The key moments are like when she drops the Papa John's hat on the floor, and this is a clue to mise-en-scène, revealing that she's actually his co-worker. Oh wait, let me just kill this person real quick. Let me just kill them. Yes. I'm gonna get them. Get the other person too. Don't think you're hiding. Yep, get you too. Okay, now that we killed them, we're gonna keep talking, revealing that that girl is actually his co-worker, random than a random stranger. By delaying the information, I create an irony and tension, and the effect on the audience is more of a shock and realization with a plot twist. Oh, there's another person right here. Let me just kill them real quick, too. Yep. Ooh. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. One more. Yes. The effect is like the realization through the plot twist. Therefore, reforced to think about the scenes that were made earlier. The second convention I use is the use of a protagonist in an isolated setting, meaning the protagonist is just alone, and I think it gives more of a tension and more of a suspense. Oop, just killed them too. Oh, and that person too, trying to kill me. I use this convention through the home setting. The protagonist is harassed inside his own house, a space that should be safety. The stalker breaks in, the stalker steals his keys and torments him while he was just trying to look for his mother. The use of the low lighting and the empty spaces and the scenes cutting to certain objects in the house emphasize the isolation. However, I challenge the convention by making the victim a male and not a female, which is usually through many of the movies nowadays. So this person too. By reversing this dynamic, I challenge gender expectations, obviously, within the genre, which makes the audience uncomfortable and see the movie in a different lens, because it disrupts what they may usually expect with the stalker movie. Another last final convention that I use could be the cliffhanger ending. Film openings often give codes to encourage continued viewing, and my product ends with the mother calling her son after he has already been kidnapped, making an unsolved ending include tension. Oh my god, he just died. Oh, okay, well, anyways, it creates anticipation, and the audience is left questioning what happened to him and what the mother will discover. So, since we died, we're just gonna continue. I represented teenagers through media language choices such as mise-en-scène, camera, sound, and editing. I portrayed the protagonist as a casual clothing with work uniform connected to Papa John's, and the antagonist as a young co-worker that is also a teenager, which challenges the stereotypes that stalkers are usually seen as older men or strangers. Some camera angles I use are eye levels to show that there is a suspense and more tension through the chase scene, and some sound design as well are like silence or background noises that would amplify, creating more excessive jump scares and to reinforce the horror. I also challenge gender stereotypes. The female character is not seen as weak usually, and instead is more stronger and occupies the role of a stalker, while the male character is dependent on his mother and he doesn't have as much power or is more weaker than the woman. Overall, Obsessed uses key conventions of the psychological horror, with suspense, restricted information, isolated settings, and cliffhangers. While challenging traditional gender roles and stereotypes, the product creates tension on as well encourages audience to reconsider their assumptions about power, safety, and familiarity. I used media language and narrative structure throughout my film, and yeah, my film is called Obsessed, and I hope you guys will love it. And thank you, and that is my explanation of my movie.